Today we're gonna continue building Dropdown. Last time we were making list content for iterators. At some point we're still gonna have to, like, I don't know, my Rust analyzer plugin is somehow fucked up. Like, I can run it, but it doesn't seem to work here. Or actually maybe maybe it was just running because it still had a working build or something, but I think it should work now. Or it should work. I also updated some dependencies and that broke stuff. So I deleted target, so now it's recompiling things. So I'm actually not sure if this is gonna run or if the Rust analyzer is actually right. But yeah, so this will mostly be an exercise of adapting some old code because I, at some point in my experimentation repo, so this is pop-up. Pop-up basically accepts a base widget, which, oh yeah, it's running. So this is where we were last time. So currently they all share the same state, but separate, yeah, but they're separate, I don't know, entries. So yeah, right. So we're gonna like try and copy this. So pop-up is basically just a thing that accepts a base widget and a pop-up widget, which is rendered like a layer above, and then on close if you like click outside it, and it'll try to position the pop-up below the base. At some point, the idea would be for this to, like, if the base is at the bottom of the screen, to position the pop-up above, but currently we're ignoring that. Yeah, so yeah, for some reason my plugin is confused about this. I don't know why. Right, so here we're trying to build yeah, a pop-up. So in contrast to here, the pop-up is just a widget, and then I had to implement. This repo is quite messy, so don't look at it. Where? No, it's not Dropdown, right? So this was how. Right, so it had an if on like whether it's open, and if it's open it'll do a pop-up with a text button, and otherwise it'll just do a text button. And yeah, so with our approach this would cause some problems, because if base has internal state, doing something like this obviously it would look quite different in our with our widget abstraction, but they would have to, like, if base has state, you would want it to keep the state if like when it opens and closes. So if we do the thing of like having an OR around whether it's open and doing just the base or a pop-up with base, then yeah, it'll cause the problem of like resetting the base state. And I do have some ideas. I think it might come up in other cases where you want to keep the state of something but put it in a different place in the tree. I did some thinking about this, but it's going to be hard to actually implement. Or in the current case, yes, but I do want to make some changes to the widget abstraction eventually that'll like reduce the the amount of unwrapping we have to do with like build and update, because here with OR we obviously have a problem where for the OR widget, like when we build and update, like the state has to be in sync so the state has to be in sync with the widget. So in render, we basically just have to unwrap all the time, which is not optimal. And I have some ideas to changing the abstraction to make that better, but that causes some other problems. So we're ignoring that for now, for the sake of making some progress. Yeah. So, and in the current abstraction, like when we just unwrap stuff, we could make a widget to like inject state, so to make state a parameter. And so then like the external dropdown could inject the state into the base. That would work for keeping the state, but like if we want to avoid options and unwrapping for state, then we'll have to find a different solution. Which, yeah, I have some thoughts about this, but in general, it makes sense to avoid having to do that kind of stuff wherever possible. And since pop-ups are basically always this sort of thing where it can be open and closed, like we just do an option here. Yeah, so let's see how we did. So back here there was just measure instead of build and update, because there was no such thing as state, at least not as part of the widget trait. You could handle it separately. So it would measure the pop-up and the base. I don't know why it's in that order, but it doesn't matter. Right, so let's see if we can do that. Self dot base. Yeah, also build. Here we can just use the constraint of this. Render theme. Right, let's maybe let base now. Okay, so here we are not constraining pop-up width-wise, which is interesting because I think you would want to have it have the same width. I don't know, it depends on the pop-up, so maybe pop-up isn't the right abstraction, but let's ignore that for now. Pop-up equals self dot build. I'm currently relearning to type properly, so I'm a bit slow. I mean, I was before as well, but it should get better now. No, the constraint would be two nuns. And render and theme. Oh no, self dot. All right. Dot map p I don't know, I think it's right, base and pop up. That seems to work. Now let's do self.base.update state 0 constraint render theme. Sure. Of course, mutable reference. And then we'll do if let some pop up let's see. Yeah, no, this is annoying. Equals, let's start with that, self dot pop up. Here we need to, synchronize. So if self dot pop up is some, but state is not some, we have to, like, maybe I should do this in a match. Yeah. Let's just do it this way. Some state equals state dot one. Then, like, if they're both some, then we can pop up update state. I think there's a missing ref mute here. Or maybe just wait for the error. No constraint. None to render and theme. Right. Now, otherwise, we want state.one to be some popup dot build none to nones and yeah, right. And here we can just set state dot one to none. Now, it's actually interesting because if we were to just not do that, then it would retain state if you reopen it. So maybe that's what we want. I don't know. I could go either way. Let's leave it like that. I guess this is somewhat equivalent to the difference between vif and vhide, I think, in Vue. Like you can just hide an element or you can put an if around it, and that means yeah, it actually gets destroyed versus just hidden. So yeah. So self dot base dot min size. Right. State dot zero mutably. Right now, this is like the case right now for extra layers because this has one extra layers. No, wait. It has what if base has extra layers? I think that one might actually just be wrong or something. Extra layers. Yeah, it's just one. Like if the pop-up has extra layers, we need to add those. And if base has extra layers, I guess we need to render them first. So actually, this is more like self.base dot extra layers date dot 0 plus. So presumably in the normal case it would be 0. So there's at least one extra layer, but we'll also add self dot popup dot map extra layers, state dot how did that work with options? There was like a way to as ref mute maybe. Dot, maybe let's just dot unwrap or 0. No. Right now. Okay, now maybe autocomplete will work as no suggestions. State 1 as mute, yeah. Dot unwrap. Is that the correct thing? Yeah, so this will be for, let's maybe ignore that for now. We'll have to build that. Okay. Move out of self.popup. Right, so we'll need as mute here as well, I think. These are read-only. No, in this case it's as ref. Why as mutable? Date. Yeah, of course. As ref. Okay, that seems to work. So maybe let's format that. I don't know, it's maybe weird to have the +1 in the middle, but in some sense that makes sense. I don't know. Because, yeah, like we'll render the base layers, then add a new layer, and then render the pop-up. So, I don't know, maybe it's easier to read. Right, so now we'll need, I always forget all the methods. Right. No, this is not, this is widget. So we have these, then we need render and the input handling stuff. Right, render. So render, yeah. So this just matches layers and so yeah, doing it actually correctly will be somewhat harder. Right. I mean, actually, let's just do that for now and then fix it later so we can see something working. Match layer. So 0 on 0 will do self dot base dot render state yeah, rect render theme input state sure layer 0 focus. I don't know. I guess focus will be false if layer is like if there's a pop-up maybe. Doesn't matter. All right, so dot pop up dot. I guess we can just do an if let here. Some pop up equals self dot pop up, and then yeah, then I guess we do pop up dot render state dot one dot s mute and unwrap that. The rest is just no, rect. What is rect? Yeah, right. So that's where this comes into play. Right, so I think this should be a standalone function maybe. Yeah. Because otherwise, like, we're already in an if-let here, and like, what would this return? An option, so, and it doesn't need anything else from self, so we'll just, why am I? Pop up rect, so, I mean, I guess we could pass in. All right, we need a base rect. So here we were passing. Rect. Right. So question is, do we make this generic or do we just pass in the pop-up min size? Yeah, let's do that. Doesn't matter. It's just an internal function. What am I writing? Pop-up min size. And that's, I presume, a rect. What does min size return? Oh, it's a size. Right, of course. And because rect has a position as well. Oh, I hope my disk doesn't get full with recording because I'm actually sort of. Okay, 8 gigs, that should be enough. All right, let's copy that. Okay. Right. So let pop up rect equal to pop up rect for rect and pop up dot min size. Now we'll need state twice, so I think that should work. All right. State, then pop-up rect, render theme, input state. I don't know, I think that should just be the same, maybe. Maybe we need to suppress something about inputs in the base. And we can also ignore, wait, how did we? Oh, okay, we didn't. So layer is 0. And yeah, focus. I don't know. Did we have focus here? Sure. Okay. Right, and then if there's more layers, we do nothing. Yep. Alright, then we'll need test input pos layer. I think let's just then we can copy that. So I guess we can, yeah, we'll just go all in on the input and not input on the base and pop up just being one layered, and ignore all other cases. If self refute pop up the equals self dot pop up, then we'll do something, otherwise it'll be wait, what does none mean? None means it's not on that widget, I think. So I guess we'll still have to check the base self dot. I think we actually need state base dot test. And pop up dot min size. Right, we'll need this. What happened here? I right. Okay, yeah, this is like has some beginnings of doing layers properly, but all right. Self dot, yeah, this will just be pop up. Direct, sure. Now we need state. Dot one. What is happening here? Oh, so yeah, base is 0, right? Different state. Let's rename this to pop up state. Right. Okay, this seems to work. Maybe for now I'll just do the input handling for cursor inputs. Right. Where were we? Yeah, handle cursor input. We'll ignore keyword input for now, so because we don't need that for a dropdown. Yeah, so we can get something running. That'll be, yeah. And then I can do the rest later. Right. So yeah, I don't need to copy that. I can handle cursor input, format that. Right, input return. What is that again? Demand focus. Did we have that back then? Right, I did the same thing here. I don't know what that means. Maybe clicking outside work by sending events to layers above as well. Okay, so I hadn't even implemented keyword, or I had, but oh no, this was back when there weren't separate methods for input handling. Right, so click outside pop-up equals. Yeah, maybe let's just copy all this. Get just default, so I guess it never demands focus. Yeah, focus is still a thing I'm not so sure about. So, no, goddamn. So annoying that Vim copying doesn't, or like the Vim, how are they called? Not clipboards, registers, I think. Like copying doesn't work across VS Code windows, which is annoying. Right, so pop-up rec this once again. So, right, I guess, yeah, this is from the case of just having one. So we'll need an if let. Like here. I hate that, like, it indents spaces. Why is it? I think there's a vim command for removing trail. Oh no, a VS Code. Remove maybe trailing. Yeah, trim trailing. Ah, okay, that's cool. Use that next time. Let's copy this. On close. Okay, I think we didn't constrain the close one, so close needs to be a closure. Is the reference to a closure here? So certainly fn mute. Yeah, I don't know. Let's try this. I'm never sure when I should use references for closures. I think passing them by value should be fine. Right. State. Pop-up state. 9 was applied. Yeah, context isn't a thing anymore. What is the problem? Okay, so this belongs here. Okay, so if there isn't an open pop-up, then we just let base self dot base dot. Why is it not? Okay. State dot mutual reference to state dot zero. Yeah, rect cursor pause cursor layer, sure. Input state theme focus, sure. Now this is actually confusing because cursor layer. If I don't remember why we added cursor layer, but I think like it'll do test input post layer and that it'll use whatever this returns like for the whole widget tree to figure out what layer the cursor is on. But why? Ah, right. So if you are a widget that is underneath another layer, you don't want to handle the input, I guess. But yeah, I think we can ignore that. So I'm thinking we should subtract one here, but I don't know. Like we won't if or here if we are so in theory this should be no, it's actually just wrong. Like here we're checking if it's outside and like if the widget is used correctly and this is called first, then whenever this case occurs and it's not clicking outside, then we're inside and we need like it needs to be like say if there's just one layer it needs to be one, so we need to subtract here. So let's do a saturating sub 1. So saturating is just there so that if it's already 0 it stays 0 because this is unsigned and negative wouldn't mean anything and wraparound wouldn't mean anything, and we can, I guess, avoid an unnecessary crash possibility. Although it would be really interesting if we just added a minus, like with debug builds, it would just crash when 0 is passed in, which is interesting because I think something would be wrong if 0 is passed in. So maybe yeah, I don't know. But I think this is in some sense more correct. Right. So does this actually work? Maybe let's add a module here for Dropdown. Let's look at what the interface was here. So a Dropdown. Yeah, so we did it that way where there's just select the text you pass in and then a list of options. What is S? Well, I guess S is an internal identifier, so you can, I guess we'll return that when something is selected. Dot 0. Yeah, on select T S. Yes, okay. So S is an identifier. Why is it called S? Doesn't matter. Okay, so I guess we'll use a stateful widget for that. Right, so let's do pop mods drop down. Then we'll do use all of the stuff from the crate. Right, so let's do struct state. I think this can be private. Right, I guess like open. Did we have here? Yeah, this was when it was like a lot more manual. Border, yeah, these are just like layout states. Like this should now all be managed by our state management system. Right. Impl stateful. Wait, is that a macro? Where does stateful widget come from? Oh, widget state, right. Widget state for state. And then we'll like have to do this. Let's see how well that works. Right, this hacky thing where we now type widget state. Oh no, wrong one. Do I still have it in? Yes. Okay, widget is alright. Impl widget plus a. No defining uses. Unconstrained opaque type. I guess, yeah. So now we should be able to use super not drop down, pop up, out of that, and then we should be able to return a pop-up. Right, okay. Base is... Do we even have buttons? Okay, it seems we have buttons. I guess we'll use super button. So base is a button. Does it have a new? No. Okay. So, oh, is there text button? text. I guess we only have checkboxes. Do we have labels? Yeah, I think I may actually be too early for a drop down. All right, let's make a drop down of checkboxes. Checkbox. Yep. All right. So the base is a checkbox that is checked, and on click it will without us interacting with like set is I'm somewhat confused. Self dot open equals true, but like, is that allowed, or how did I don't remember what my thought was with. Wait, let's get the toggle. Does that even work anymore? No, that's way out of date. Right here. Params. Yeah, right. This is all specific to lists. So yeah, expected. Yeah, whatever. Okay. I guess the pop-up. Let's just. No, we can make this none because it needs a type. Do we have like option? Is that a thing? Oh no, I guess option. Is there a none widget? Yeah, none. All right. And then on close, we wanna make open false. Yeah, that won't work. Equals false. Okay, but there's still other stuff wrong. Maybe let's run a quick cargo check. Okay, so maybe we do need turbofish here. Yeah, so this is what I expected. Oh, okay, I don't know why. Oh, I think it auto generated the wrong thing here or something. Nope. Okay. So let's, I guess, not do anything here. For now, I think we'll have to maybe pass in state or something to the closure. All right. Okay, this. Okay, my Rust analyzer seems to be really broken. Maybe it's just because I'm using unstable Rust or something. All right. Let open equal self dot open, because then we can have a copy of it and not need double borrows. Although maybe with non-lexical lifetimes or something, it would figure out that it only needs this for the, I don't know. But yeah, let's just so that's if open, we do something else none. Right. So here we'll need something like this. Yeah, this is getting really annoying. It's just all red. So my, yeah, no, not my state, just state. So, all right, 0 to 8. Let's do this state, open false. Now, where do the parameters come in? Stateful widget, my state. Did we actually not consider parameters? All right. Yeah, I like build doesn't take any parameters. I think I just forgot that or something. All right. We can also ignore that and just do, I guess, this. Now we don't want text boxes. What we want is more checkboxes. I guess they're all checked, sure. We just want to see the mechanism. On click, they'll do nothing. Like, this is all very broken. Not found in the scope, not found in the scope. Fair enough. Use we need this come from? Lists, that's another module. Iter, right. And what else is not found? Row, I guess. Use super lists row. I'll need to make like some prelude or something at some point, so you just have all the widgets available, because otherwise that'll get quite annoying. I found opaque type. Missing some. Not found in this scope. Is that from the... okay, so... we actually want to use an absolute path here. Create widgets lists, I think. Okay, yeah, now the same borrowing thing. I'll definitely need to figure this out. I think we need to like pass stuff in the closure. Right. Maybe even base and pop-up need to be closures. No. I think we're facing the same problem we have with lists here. Because this is also a container, and if it has multiple children that use the same state, we get in trouble. Yes. So yeah, I'll need to figure that out, but I don't know. Let's just not do that. Okay, cool. So that testing even works at all, we'll just make it true here. Because there's no opening and closing, there's just... I mean, I could... yeah, whatever. We'll... this will be a miserable test. But... right. So... I guess we'll, like, not do that. And instead... do... widgets... Dropdown... we're still missing the actual function that does the drop-down thing. Impl widget, and we'll use stateful widget of state. Is that it? Okay. Drop down. I don't know. Does that work at all? Let's check it first. Example text box. Obviously wrong. Oh, it does work. Run. This will be interesting. Okay. So we have a button, I guess. I don't think that's right. We should see the pop-up. Now open should be true. I think the positioning might be the problem. Yes, I think that's the problem. I guess just for trying this out, we can adjust this positioning thing to just return the base rect. And then okay. Now it's very hard to say that is a success because like that doesn't look much like a drop down at all. Yeah, I mean, for one thing, we need a column, not a row, but um, and also like it needs to be able to open and close. But I think we have some resemblance of a working thing. Let's just like if we make this false, to then just render one checkbox. Yes, that okay. Yeah, all right. Okay. Yeah, I'll end this here, and I'll have to figure out all of these issues. I guess we can like this doesn't actually need self. This can just be that and such stuff. So we should be able to open equals true. Will that work? I guess it needs to be mutable. Immutable reference. A value referencing data owned by the current function. Oh god. Yeah, that's really unfortunate. Right, can I find a quick hack for that? Like this requires a mutable reference to something with maybe I can leak a box. Now this is really hacky just to is there a leak mute even? Leak. Okay. My god, it worked. Okay, so this should now open. Yes, okay. That's a tiny step closer to an actual drop down. All right. Yeah, I'll end it here. See ya.